What's up, everybody? It's your boy Uchi. I hear my man Jay Dizzle. And for the first time, finally, on the official Power Rangers Academia channel, my man Mega Isaac. And we are back again. Once again. How you guys doing today? JD, my man, what's going on? How you doing today, sir?
I'm chilling, man. It's like, got some stuff to talk about. Glad Mega Isaac's here finally.
Yes, sir. Finally, we have 3/4 of the origins. One day we'll get Tech on here when he's not like, super busy and everything like that. But Isaac, man, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. I have been called upon by the gods of Power Rangers fandom.
The Morphin
because
Masters?
rumor on the street is there are a lot of people out there with bad opinions, and there has to be somebody to put them in their place. So the Power Ranger fandom gods called upon me to be here right now to put an end to all of this.
And you know
All
what? That is, I'm glad you opened with that, because honestly, that's a great way to remind folks that if you're new here, welcome. It's Power Rangers Academia, and we're gonna basically be just talking about all things Power Rangers and things that relate to Power Rangers, but it's gonna be very unique because, like Isaac touched on, this community, unlike, much like other communities, is very special, very unique, right? And we're just gonna, I guess, ruffle a few, I suppose, with some things that are obvious to us, maybe not so much to everybody else. That's all right. That's what we're here for. So either way, like I mentioned in the first episode that we did in our intro, we started the conversation talking about Cosmic Fury, how this is kind of a huge deal in the sense that this is the first time that they've done something like this since Turbo to Space, where like the cast is, all converting into the new season, right? This is not like on some Super Mega Force. We don't talk about that shit, okay? We don't, okay? That's just not a thing. However, what we do talk about is some real shit, right? So JD and I already started this conversation, giving our opinions about what they could do, what could happen, what we're excited for, what the whole, like, the weight of this really means. So now that Isaac, you're finally here, I'm gonna pass it over to you. Give the people your thoughts, your opinions on what you feel about Cosmic Fury and your thoughts on Dino Fury or whatever. Let the folks know what's up.
So it's mostly like a mixed bag for me, right? I can't really say I am against it, and I can't really say I'm for it because I'm so confused. And I think the reason I'm confused, I'm not sure if it's because of Hasbro news or because of the rumors out there. From my understanding, right, we're supposed to get a fresh cast, and I know that one of the rumors was we were going to have a female Red Ranger, a part of the regular season, right? So when I read the news that the Dino Fury cast is going to be transferred over to the Cosmic Fury cast, I was confused. I'm not the biggest fan of the cast. I think the cast is okay, but that is it. I don't think it's spectacular. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think they're necessarily too memorable, right? Because for somebody like us, our age, right, we're early 90s kids.
The greatest time period.
The greatest time period, right? Like, no matter what, the cast of Power Rangers will always get compared to the original cast. And if not the original cast, the one that came after it went Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. Right? And I feel like this cast is just not memorable enough for them to be, to now be put into a new season, a completely new season. And I know I spoke to you about this briefly, Uch. I'm not a fan of the Fury title. Why are we going with Fury again? Why couldn't you call it Cosmic Power or Cosmic Aggression, Cosmic Energy, something? Why do we have to have another Fury? So the season could be great for all I know. It can be fantastic. I think the acting and camera work in Dino Fury is fine. I hope they use a lot of that or a lot of it carries over to Cosmic Fury. I'm really interested to see how the suits are.
Yeah.
Cosmic, I'm expecting a bunch of different colors. I really do think that we're gonna have more than just 6 Rangers, to be quite honest with you. We're probably gonna have something like Turbo, where we had our Phantom Ranger, we have our Blue Centurion, and that's what I think. Probably, I probably see 7. I probably see same idea. We're gonna have our 5 and then 2 random Rangers. Not necessarily part of the group, but they're just there. Well, actually, now they have 6 right now. If I remember
they got
correctly.
6.
They have 6.
they have
Okay,
their
yeah,
6.
never mind. They have 6. I think we're gonna have 8. I think there's gonna be 2 different Rangers. They're not part of the team, but they're gonna be, I guess, part of the good guys.
All right.
I think I already know. No, I think I already know one of them, but we'll get to that.
Okay, yeah. So again, it's just mixed. I can't say I'm looking forward to it. I just hope they don't mess it up. Also, one thing that I noticed too, and I was thinking about this on my car ride home, was at least for us, right? The toys were everywhere for whatever season, up until like Turbo, for example. The toys were everywhere. For Dino Fury, I've gone to Target, I've gone to Walmart, I've gone to wherever, like different department stores, and I don't really see that much Dino Fury stuff. So I'm not really too sure how popular it is with the kids, because I feel like they're doing this to try to cater to the new generation of fans. Just like we grew up, we had the cast that kept rolling over. If this is the same approach they're taking, I don't think they're doing such a good job. I don't see them everywhere, right? Like even award shows, for example, like we had the what is it? We had the Emmys and we had recently the VMAs. Yeah, they're not necessarily have to do with Power Rangers, but at least we will see Tommy or Jason attend some of these shows sometimes. Right back in the day, we don't see that with them outside of the Kids' Choice Awards. So I have a really hard time actually falling in love with this cast. Not the worst cast I've seen. It's just I don't know what it is. I feel like they're pretty much, how would I say, they're like forced to work together. I feel like the chemistry is just off a little bit. I don't know. I don't know.
So when you talk about the cast, let's get into this. Like, are you talking about the actors themselves or the characters?
The actors themselves.
Because so I follow them on social media and they're pretty buddy.
They love each other.
Yeah, they like more so than some of the other casts. Because for example, if you look at Dino Charge, right? Like the 4 guys, they love each other for sure. I think that they are friendly with the other ones, but it's like Camille and Michael, Pink and Green, they kind of distance themselves from it because they're trying to do more things, or they had beef with Saban and how they handled their money situation and shit. So you have those situations where it's are they friends, are they not? But it's with Dino Fury, I feel like there's no question in my brain that they're friends. However, one of the angles that I was gonna agree with you on was their dynamic in the show and how their lasting power. And I think Dino Fury does a decent job. It doesn't do an amazing job, but I feel like there is still something missing in terms of making their friendship feel super genuine. I'm not sure exactly what your thoughts on that might be, Uchi or Isaac, but it's I had some of the episodes on in the background just because I was trying to refresh my memory for these conversations and stuff, and I saw them trying to harken back to certain Mighty Morphin ideas, right? Which they always try to do, right? They always try to, there were, I think one of the most famous team bonding things that happened in Mighty Morphin was there's a scene where Kimberly, she's upset and she's sitting like this, and then all of the other Rangers come around her and do the same thing, and it was it makes you feel like they're friends in that moment,
right?
And they did something similar in Dino Fury, and it doesn't exactly work. But I do feel like there's characters that have great chemistry, but I don't know, I don't feel it within the whole team yet. But what do you think?
So, yeah, these are good talking points about how all of their chemistry or lack thereof kind of translates into all of this. The one thing I do want to say before we get into it is, on a future episode, I do want to talk more about what Isaac brought up with the toys. Because that is a whole discussion in and of itself that is waiting to happen. But we will get back to that on another one. But as far as this is concerned, I think I know for a fact, I can I can see just through all their social media, like you mentioned, that they are definitely IRL friends for sure, right? But I feel like the issue is that it's not the actors, it's the direction that they're given and the acting. Like, because again, they're actors, they're paid actors, right? They're paid to do a job, just like in wrestling. They're paid to win, they're paid to lose. They're paid to basically do what they're told, right?
Yeah.
In this, is no different. It's just, it's a show catered to kids. And I say that with quotes because at the end of the day, in the back of their minds, there's always going to be some sort of decision that's made that has us involved with the thought process, right? But at the same time, they're not really being directed in a way that is really hitting, where like someone like myself or yourself or Isaac are feeling like, yeah, like this is like it's sticking. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels off, right? So that's what I really think it comes down to. I just think that with that, it's the direction that they're given is what's making it not feel like this whole power not transfer, but like the fact that this cast is now making history by doing something that hasn't been done since our days when we were kids watching it in the 90s, where it's like you have the majority of the team going into the next season as the new suited, Rangers and whatnot. But I wanted to, I guess, take this opportunity to transition into this next question that has everything to do with this, right? And Isaac kind of already touched a little bit about it. So because we already know it's a 6-man squad and they're clearly going into space, and I know we're all familiar with the Sentai, and if they do go with the Q Ranger suits, they got like 13 characters. All right? So like it's a little safe to assume that with whatever happens at the end of Dino Fury, whether they get to keep their little dino keys or whatever, or they put them off to the side, or they get destroyed, right? Whatever the reasoning is, it's very safe to assume that they're going to get new suits. What the new suits are, we obviously don't know just yet, but I think it's safe to kind of lean towards more of the Q Ranger aesthetic. And then it's just like, well, if they do that, do you think they're gonna really bring on way more characters just to fill out all those suits? Because they got mad colors on Q Ranger.
So let me bring this up. All right, now we know the approach that they're taking, right? They're rolling over the cast. Let's not forget what happened also in the very beginning. The cast got switched up, so if they introduce more characters, those are going to be the characters going to use to roll over onto the next season. That's what I predict.
Wait, explain that. So wait, you're saying from Cosmic Fury on?
Yes. So remember what happened with TJ, Ashley, Carlos, right? Very similar. Now their powers are going to be transferred over to these new casts, or the original cast, the original Dino Fury cast is going to lose their powers, and then the new characters will then be rolled over to the next one. Maybe I think Hasbro is going to be taking that approach going forward for a bit, where they're just going to keep rolling over cast members. We're going to see new cast members in Cosmic Fury, and then whatever Fury comes after that, we're going to see characters from Cosmic Fury that were introduced there roll over to that next season.
So you think it's going to be a recurring theme with them keeping cast? Well, I mean, I can understand if they were to try to do that, because if they really want to cement a new legacy, right? Because the thing that's keeping everybody, especially in our age group or older or around our age range, really still vibing and relating everything back to how it was back in the day, it's literally because no one can compare. They that's why I always say Tommy is the greatest of all time. Why? Because he's the only character to have had so many different powers, So many, you know what I'm saying? Like he has a
so
legacy.
many different eras. He was,
exactly.
He was put over. He's the John Cena. Like,
and so how do you do that nowadays? You have to start and commit to it. And if what Isaac thinks happens, then that's kind of how that's like the formula to do it. You know?
I mean, think about it. You said Senta has 13, right?
Yeah, for Q Ranger, I'm pretty sure they got up to like 12 or 13 Rangers. Something
So
like that.
12, right? They already have 6. They introduced 6 more. That's the next 6.
So okay, so just to clarify, so in Cosmic Fury, if they go with Q Ranger, they're gonna eventually have a big old team of 13, 12 or 13, whatever, right? But then going from Cosmic Fury to whatever Fury or whatever Force, they're gonna have a mixture. Not obviously not all 13 because they can't. And whatever that is, that's gonna be the new team going forward.
Of going to the next season. I don't think going forward permanently, but going
going to the next season, right.
Yeah, it's very similar to Turbo to Space, and in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I disagree with you there is because we got the Jonathan Intersoul reboot happening, right? And I think that this 30th season might be a swan song to Power Rangers as we know it. Like I think Power Rangers in the form that it exists is done after this, right? And I think that whatever they do with this like Cosmic Fury season, they're gonna try to pay. Like I hope, right? This is like, I guess just in my brain. I think they're gonna try to pay homage to a lot of the past seasons. So we might get some recurring Rangers. We might, I feel like it would be dope. I don't think this is possible because getting actors to go to Australia and stuff might be, or sorry, New Zealand might be a stretch. But if we were able to get a bunch of, or at least a couple of like always a chance situations, or where you get like a returning character from a previous season to make a seminal, like help somebody's character development. Like it doesn't need to be a bit like, because that was one of the beautiful things about those episodes in Power Rangers in Space is that it wasn't a big crossover. It was a returning Ranger comes back to forward somebody else's character development. And obviously, like, I know we got our opinions about Carlos, that whole thing, but like at the same time that helps solidify Adam's legacy as one of the GOATs.
Boom.
And even seeing the Rangers come, like some of the Rangers like make other cameos in other seasons, it does something similar. So me and Uchi before were talking about the potential of Billy coming back in some capacity, because if they're going to be in space, you have planets like Aquitar where Billy is, right? You might have something like that, or you could have, you could go to Doggy Kruger's planet, right? And you could, like, what if they did a live action version of Dane? Like, they're not going to do that, but that's just like me fantasy booking, right? You could go back to Triforia. You could go back to, you could explore a whole bunch of other stuff. So I feel like they're going to try to take that route, and whatever they do with this reboot, because there's a lot of rumors, but I feel like they're going to just hit the hard reset button, and then we're going to get our animated series, we're going to get our live action series, we're going to get our, I don't know if we're going to keep the kid version of the show going, but I feel like giving this, like, to go back to your original point, like to keep this original cast gives them at least a little bit more chance for them to grow on people as a team that stands out, because like you have a couple of members that do stand out, right? Like you got Izzy, who's like standing out because she's like the favorite. She's like the fan favorite currently. And like at least in my brain, like I remember Ion just because he's the first black Sixth Ranger, so like that's gonna mean something to a lot of people, and like I don't know what the back half of what all of the back half of this season 2 is like, but I think that they're going to continue to establish some of those characters to where maybe you will care a little bit more. Like I don't necessarily see myself growing to like Chance Perez's character that much more, right? Because like he's all right, but he's definitely kind of like a trope. But like Amelia, like I feel like there's potential for some of those characters to grow, and the more we see them, the more chances they'll have a moment to do something to make you say, okay, well that character is actually dope, like Because like if you look at the Mighty Morphin cast, the reason why they work for us so much is because like we had 60 plus episodes of them, just like going through it, and it's like we got through that initial 20 something episodes of them being cornballs, you know, like but then you get the episode where, you know, you see everybody shine in their own way. Like you see Billy go from, you know, who he is at the beginning to like, you know, you see his development, you see Kim's development, you see you know, Zach takes second in command roles at times when times got rough, you know, like that's why I liked them, you know. So hopefully we'll see that a little bit more with this cast. Like that's what I hope to see.
They're gonna have that chance now, so yeah, for sure.
If there's one thing that I learned about Hasbro, now I'm just gonna briefly touch upon something you mentioned about, you know, 30th anniversary, and why I don't think that we're gonna have like this huge celebration or anything of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah.
Because Hasbro has not convinced me otherwise that they know that there's anything outside of Mighty Morphin. Because if we even take a look at the Phantom Ranger toy that came out, it says. We know where he premiered, right? It was not space, but on the box on the Lightning figure, it says space. He's from space. He debuted in like, Turbo.
No, Turbo.
So
yeah,
I do not think
Those
we're gonna have
details.
this huge celebration, right? I highly doubt it. But however, I will agree that if they do, you know, have very similar ideas from Mighty Morphin, you know, we'll probably be able to see that on screen going forward on future seasons, because that's all Hasbro knows. I'm convinced that Hasbro only thinks Mighty Morphin exists.
Well, you know, no, I'll do you one better. I think they know Mighty Morphin, and the show in particular, they reference the Neo Saban era heavy, because like we've had recurring characters from Dino Charge a lot, you know, like Sledge and Poisandra and stuff. They've come back at least a couple of times. I know Scrozzle, who was in Beast Morphers, comes back with Lord Zed in this next half, I believe.
Lord Zed, look who they brought back.
Lord
They brought back Lord Zed from Mighty Morphin,
which obviously is like the big thing. But
they could have brought back. They could have brought. Look, I believe there's also power scaling in Power Rangers, right?
Yes,
I'd be a fool not to bring power scaling. You really bringing back Zed from the first series? Seriously, you could have brought back anybody else. And it's not like Frieza where he turns gold, right?
Nah,
it's
they just buffed him up. That's it. They just like,
they buffed Goldar up.
Now.
And look at Beast Morphers, they brought back Goldar, and Goldar was buffed too. Like we haven't seen villains lately from outside of Mighty Morphin. The stronger villains on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. To me, I just can't see it happening. I just can't. They're taking a very Mighty Morphin approach, and we're not.
Yeah, I do feel like in general, like that's been like the downfall of these like more recent seasons, where it's like they try so hard to adhere to Mighty Morphin that sometimes they could lose their identity. And I feel like, for me at least, Beast Morphers and Dino Fury were a little bit less, because they did it so much in like with Ninja Steel, I think, that it was like they had to like course correct, because Ninja Steel almost fucked up the whole bag, for lack of a better.
Well, let's stop there though, because
hold on, let me bring something up real quick. Okay? I'm not sure, are we able to talk about stuff that happened that we know happened that they just haven't showed yet, or some people haven't watched?
Oh, well, see, that's what I'm saying. We gotta save that for another episode.
Okay, because there's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go into spoilers.
Yeah. Okay.
But one thing Dino Fury is doing, all right, it's fixing some mistakes from the past.
Yes. That whole shit. I don't. Yeah, that stuff is crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing that, fixing mistakes that was made in the previous management. That's the best way for me to put it.
Well, hey man, that's a good stopping point right there, because I mean we gotta give reason for people to keep tuning back into these damn freaking episodes. So, like you guys already can tell, there is so much to dive into. So again, keep supporting, liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting us up. I'll have the links to all of these guys' social medias in the description as always. So is there? I guess I'll leave it to you guys if there's any like closing little message you guys want to throw out to the people listening, watching at home. JD, you first.
I'm all good, man. Like, I definitely want to get into this topic about the cast in general. I feel like that's a good topic for the future. But yeah, just a myth known as JD on Twitter, J2 Lewis on YouTube.
All right, Isaac, how about yourself?
All right, so I just want to just clear out something that I said before. I don't mention the actors before. What I was saying is, we understand, like you mentioned, JD. You can see that they're very good friends outside the show. I just wish they kept that same energy on the actual show, because I feel like the directors and everything are forcing them. Right. It's like, be yourself here, and it's a little awkward. You can tell that they're just not comfortable under that.
It's all the writing, yo.
Yeah, it's true. It's the position they're put in, right? Like, you can't. We know they're friends outside that, but you couldn't tell by watching the show.
Exactly.
Let me just say to Hasbro, if you are listening, okay, the Zords need more love. They're also a huge part of the franchise. We can't just be talking about the cast and the suits and everything. The Zords are very, very important. People overlook the Zords, and that just can't happen. So I hope that in Cosmic Fury, we see more Zord love. Maybe bring back Zords from the past or something. And then there's a giant Zord battle, just like we had the Mega Force. We had that legendary battle with the Rangers. We need one with the Zords as well.
That would be crazy.
But just so you know, though, there's a season where they have like a little bit of that, and it's a season that they could potentially be adapting for Kira Major. Because there's a scene where all the Zords are there.
Big Shogun's there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's it wasn't but
it was more of like a cameo thing.
Yeah, it's like a cameo thing, but they were there for an episode.
We could get more into that, guys, but again, like, share, subscribe, hit us up. This is the Power Ranger Academia coming at you with the realist of stuff. You already know it's more of a time all the time. We'll see y'all next time.